Hello, everyone. A warm welcome to you all. There you are. Just getting into the gallery view so I can see everybody. A warm welcome. It's Tuesday, noon Eastern here in Lenape land, Cortland Manor. My name is Antoinette, and I'm very happy to see our little group. I know that many of us are still connecting in, and I see some familiar faces, some very familiar faces. Warm welcome to all of us. Really lovely to be all together here. Happy winter solstice, everyone. Lisa just shared in the chat the longest night of the year. So longest night, shortest day. Yes. So you can just share where you're coming from. You can type into the chat where you're coming from, where you may be sitting or standing today. And I'll read a few out and share who's in the room. We've got San Francisco, Arlington, Massachusetts, Brooklyn, New York, Felton, California, Chicago. It's our last Women Together of the year. And it's just wonderful to be all together. Boise, Idaho. Today, we're going to be reflecting and celebrating, doing a little bit of meditation together and just giving ourselves a chance to reflect on this past year and all that it has been. I know that many of us have been living with new tensions. For those of us here in the Northeast, we've seen a rise of COVID again. COVID returns, and there is, just a lot that we've all gone through in this last year. So just holding space for everything that has come up for each of us, the successes, the triumphs, the resilience, and also the hardship, and all the different pieces that it means to be closing out one year, entering the next. In some ways, it's a bit of a chance to start anew, and in some ways it's just another day, but we'll give it the ritual that it deserves. So a warm welcome to all. What I'd like to do is just bring us into a moment of stillness together, just to land here in this place. We've got Barbara from West Palm Beach, Florida, where we're getting ready for rain. I hope you can send us a little sunshine, though. So just take a moment to find your seat wherever you may be and just feel yourself landing in your seat. I brought the special chime today. I brought the big bowl. So this is just a chance to land here together, and really a chance to just be in our own space, but also here together in this Zoom and YouTube circle, just being here in our place together. So if you can get your feet flat on the ground, if that's comfortable for you, just take a deep breath in, exhale out. Feel the breath moving up the spine and down the spine. And I'll ring the sound of the bell to bring us into a moment of stillness. And I'll ring the sound of the bell to bring us back. Just let the sound of the bell bring you back to connecting with the screen and maybe going into gallery mode. I find that it's really helpful just to see who's here. So you can go in the top right corner of the Zoom screen if that's available to you and click on View, Gallery, and then just take in a couple of the boxes. Maybe you can scroll through, find one or two, maybe four, and just take in the faces who are here. Just for a moment, sending the warm welcome to each other and just receiving the warm welcome. I see the little baby here joining us. Marlene, thank you for bringing that energy in. Just giving each other a welcome and allowing that to be received. Wonderful. I love that feeling when I just feel it. I feel for a moment that there's just that little bit of joy, of just being seen, connecting with each other, connecting heart to heart. So just really thank you all for being here. Today, what we're going to do is just a little reflection. We'll sit together, meditate a little bit, and do some journaling on this year. I brought my full journal. I'm ready for it. Although I just lost my pen. So get your journal and your pen. Make sure it's handy. And just we'll land together in this space. And today we're just looking for anything that's coming up, just allowing it to be here and just accepting what is and recognizing it, welcoming it, and then getting it down on the paper. And if you'd like to do some kind of ritual with that paper, I sometimes at the end of the year like to burn things to get rid of them. So if you have a fireplace, it is a wonderful way to just let go of what has come before this moment and welcome in any intentions that you have for this next phase of our lives, this next year that we have together. So last year I also talked a bit about celebration, and I was thinking a bit about that going into this year, how do I feel? And I'm curious how you each feel about celebration and reflection. And perhaps you just want to put in the chat what brought you here today on reflecting and celebrating, and just share, what brought you here, and anything that you do want to share with each other, just for a little check-in. But for me, I'll share as you start to type in that I feel like this last few weeks things have just been picking up. Like even in October, it was like all of a sudden everything was just picking up speed and steam, and a lot was going on. And then now here in December, it almost feels like this frenetic energy in the world, and a little bit of anxiety and uncertainty. And I think that in part that's due to this kind of underlying piece of the pandemic, but also because the feeling of just how do we be social with each other? How do we care for one another? How do we be in community together? How do we come together and celebrate? So some have already shared in the chat here in Zoom. Feel free to write in the comments section if you're on YouTube. I need community and connection with people. This is a good time to pause and do nothing. Yes, Kathleen, I think we all need a little bit of that. Anne just said, me too. Yes, the wish to connect and celebrate our resiliency, the need to mark the time, the moment. Veronica, we're so sorry to hear. She shares, my niece just passed away on Saturday and I need to feel connection with others. Thank you for sharing, Veronica, and we are here with you and holding together. I see many of us just noticing that we're holding with you. Elizabeth says, picking up and also remember to take time to slow down and listen. Community with others, filled with gratitude for all. I heard a K-Love DJ say after the past couple of years, she's just going to tiptoe into the new year. I love that. Shari shares that you are not alone, Veronica, and I'll just check in on the YouTube. There's a happy holidays. We've got a few from Happy Solstice Dance from Mary Kay. So we've got both this reflection and celebration experience that we're in right now, which is as we reflect on the things um, that we've accomplished and that we feel we can celebrate, and we also are reflecting on the shadow parts that have been really hard to deal with. I saw a little image, a comic, a meme on the shadow kind of reaching out and saying, I just want to be integrated. And I felt, if we could just turn and accept that shadow, that has been there with us. And that can be the little things, but it can also be the grief or the pain that we've all had to deal with. So just holding both of those things, and that we can also be here for the joy, and be here for the joy of being whole and being together, and sharing with one another. So, what I'd love to do is just to um, maybe sit together for a moment and do. I love this. June just shared, coming here together is a calm in a confusing time, celebrating our resiliency. And I love tiptoeing into the new year. Nina shared, making a list of what is in my control and what isn't. Absolutely. Most of it isn't, right? We want to be in control, but most of it isn't. So what we can do is just sit with compassion, perhaps maybe do a little meta practice of having compassion for ourselves and just starting there. And then we'll see what we have the capacity for. Sometimes I'm really able to hold the world, and sometimes I just need to hold this little heart. So wherever you are is okay. So you can just take a moment to find stillness and peace. Maybe it's not peaceful, but just being with what is. We can just come back to that place where we started a moment ago, sitting or standing. And if you'd like to lower your gaze or close your eyes, connecting the feet to the ground, feeling the connection of the feet to the floor. And as you feel that connection, perhaps feeling the sense of connectedness to earth, sense of grounding. And then inhale fully to the earth. And as you exhale, feel the energy move up your legs to the base of your spine, up the back of your spine. Follow the inhale and exhale again. Just noticing the breath, letting the breath both ground you and lift you up. On the next exhale, feeling a connection to the space just above the head, the space we call sky. So feeling both a sense of being grounded and that place of limitless possibility. And from this slightly more expansive place, perhaps, than just a moment before, just tuning into the space around the heart. Perhaps there's a feeling quality here. Just noticing the feeling of being here and now in this chair, in this space. And for a moment, maybe looking back at this year, this being, this body moving through this past year, 2021. Maybe thinking back to where you were around this time last year. What was happening for you? More than what was happening, how you were moving through that experience. And then as you moved into January, perhaps how you felt, how you experienced the world around you. How you experienced this time of winter, perhaps in your place. Moving through winter, February into March, just remembering what may have happened and how you showed up. What you felt really excited about, what you felt anxious for. What you may have accomplished as you moved into spring. Perhaps you made a change in your life. Perhaps things stayed relatively the same. But either way, you may have learned something. You may have grown somewhere. And then we moved into April, May, into summer. Just noticing any place that you grew, any place that you struggled. Into July and August. Perhaps there were moments of joy. Just noticing how you showed up in those moments. Not just what happened to you. The choices you made. What you wanted to have happen. What actually happened. Move through August, September. And then October, November, into the fall time, into the letting go time. Just noticing how you showed up in each of these places and these interactions you may have had socially, with family, community. Where did you grow? And then just sitting with this being who's gone through this year of life, put your hand on her heart. And perhaps saying out loud or to yourself, being here now in December, may you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you be free from suffering. And just let those words wash over you. And you can say it again. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you be free from suffering. And then just call to mind somebody who you know loves you dearly and sees you at your highest potential or brings you joy. Somebody who could be a pet who you see and just looks at you in a particular way. They could be alive now or have been alive before, but just call to mind that being. And then just lovingly wish upon them, may you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you be free from suffering. Just being with that being, letting their love wash over you, letting your compassion wash over them. And then invite them to stand at your shoulder, perhaps your right shoulder, and just feeling their presence. Perhaps call to mind somebody that you've struggled with this past year. And this one might be a bit more difficult, but just calling to mind someone that you've struggled with. And just seeing what happens here, what comes up. For a moment, invite in yourself infinite compassion. It's okay if that isn't available to you right now, but if it is, just sitting with it. And if it's not, sitting with what that feeling is. And holding that person in mind who you may have struggled with this year. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you be free from suffering. And then call to mind anyone else who you think may need it at this time. And just holding them in your heart. Just putting that wish out to them. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you be free from suffering. And one more time, coming back to yourself. Just remembering that nothing in our lives will happen if we don't take care of ourselves first. All of the good that we want in the world, all of the good that we want to have happen starts here within. Just making a wish for yourself. It could be one of the four that we just shared. It could be something else. But as you think about this coming year, what do you wish for yourself? One wish that you have for yourself. May I be. May I be. And when you're ready, you can turn to your journal and write down what's come up for you. May I be. And you may also want to write down the person that came up for you that is the loving, benevolent being in your life, and the person that you may have been struggling with, and any message that you have from them or to them. So I'll repeat those, but you can start with may I be, and whatever may have come up for you for this coming year. After you've done the may I be, just a reminder, you may want to call to mind the person who was the loving, benevolent being that showed up for you. See if they have a message for you and write that down. And the person who you may have struggled with, maybe what you wish and what you learned from them this year. Finally, as we move through what we've been learning this year, which I have a long list, start to also consider, what are you celebrating? So, what are you celebrating? And perhaps it's where you grew, perhaps it's an accomplishment, but it's often not easy to remember, especially for me. I find it's much easier for me to be critical of over what I've done over the last year than it is for me to celebrate. And it is equally, if not more so, important to celebrate the wins and celebrate the moments that we have accomplished or made it through. So, what are you celebrating? What could you pat yourself on the back for, give yourself a hug for, and really celebrate that you did accomplish or make it through or grow with? What are you celebrating? Also, I find it much easier to celebrate others' accomplishments. So this is really about what am I celebrating about myself this year? Okay, and our favorite part of Women Together Connect is just around the corner, where we get to really actually connect with one another. And the invitation is going to be, I love the cheering happening. Oh, thanks, Marianne. Wonderful. So we can share with each other just a couple of the things that came up. It could be something where you're growing, something that you're celebrating. And the invitation is to really deeply listen to each other. This is where the magic happens. And it really is when we share with each other, we grow together. The magic is inside these little groups. And so, really, just allow yourself to be heard and also give each other the gift of listening. I like to remind us that we don't know what each other may have had for breakfast this morning, let alone the rest of this year or the life history. And just seeing each other as that benevolent being, as that being who really cares and sees the person across from you at their highest potential. So we'll be in there for about 20 minutes. So that gives everyone plenty of time to share. I hope. I know it's never enough time, but 20 minutes, and we'll be back here